So 4 years ago, I was mowing with a DR trimmer. It's a brush machine, and some of you are probably aware of what it is. It looks like a walk-behind mower, but it's much heavier built, has a large horsepower motor, and it will cut through just about anything that you find in its way. At this point, though, it just got the best of me, and I started to feel faint and wound up gasping for breath and having chest pains. And I figured, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to leave the machine. I went up to the house. I laid down because it was really starting to bother me, and I had never had that sensation before. My wife comes in and says, you look terrible. We're going to the emergency room at the hospital, which was a first for me. And when I got there, they took my vital signs and realized that I had a problem, but in the 4 hours I was there, they weren't able to find out what caused the problem. I had always had really, he told me that I had a cholesterol reading that people would die for. I mean, it's a funny way to put it. But I usually hovered around 170, the total cholesterol count, which you don't expect that you're going to have an artery clogging problem with that kind of a count. They did find out that I had a 40 to 50% blockage in the diagonal artery. I had already been taking for about 35 years 3 different blood pressure medicines that were doing their job and controlling my blood pressure at a reasonable point. The thought of taking a 4th drug for the heart, I wasn't too excited about it. I tried it for a few days, and then I think because I wasn't really into it, I felt dizzy and found a reason to get off of it. And then when they wanted to put me on another drug, I just said, I'm not going to do that. And then I started to do the research to see what kind of alternative methods I could find to help me get over this problem. And that's when one day, this was in March, I heard a public service announcement on our local radio station, and it was all about this program. And Petra got the word out through various methods. Then this one hit home to me right away. I signed up. So ever since April 5th, I've not eaten animal products, oils, or dairy products. And in about 3 weeks from the beginning, I started to feel good. Now, I've had the past year, I've had chest pains every day of my life, even though I did not do anything strenuous. I couldn't do anything strenuous. Well, I did it. I ran and got that DR trimmer and took it out and ran on the hillside, and I limited myself to 15 minutes. But I ran and I did some mowing, and I was able to do it without a problem. Now, that sounded pretty good. The next week, I put a full day in shoveling and digging and building fence posts and everything physical that I used to do in my life before this program started. And again, I did everything, and I felt really good because I accomplished what I needed to do, and it wasn't limited by chest pains or a problem. So the next thing I've done is look at the drugs that I've been taking. And it hasn't been that long. This is only 5 or 6 weeks since this program started for all of us. But one of the things I've heard people talking about is losing weight. That just comes along with the new diet. My blood pressure is dropping. I'm not feeling chest pain. So the first thing I did was trash can the statin. And then the first blood pressure medicine went about 2 weeks ago. Another one went a few days ago. I'm down to 1 blood pressure medicine now. And I have an appointment with my doctor in another month, and I'll let him be part of the decision on when to get rid of this last blood pressure medicine. But for me, it's incredible. I would have never gone to a restaurant and ordered a vegetarian meal. I would have never eaten one at home. Giving up a diet of normal Western diet foods, is a small price to pay for what I've gained. And I just wanted to pass that on and to say that none of this would have happened if it wasn't for Dr. Esselstyn's program. I've gained more years of my life, and I'm feeling great thanks to the program and to Petra.
Thanks, Harvey.